this is gonna make me emotional. I don't know if I'll want to do it 3 times the chemo. So I'm at the point where I'm like thinking like sell everything and like literally just go live life and oh my God, and maybe choose to decide when it's my time to go instead of letting life do its course. And
right.
I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm at the point where I'm like,
one step at a time.
I would like to, what I would like is to choose when I go and get like a medically assisted death. But obviously like my mom would not want that. And like none of my friends would want that.
But the interesting thing about what you want is that it changes, it grows.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
I might be enjoying my life too much and I won't want to go early. Yeah.
Chemical X.
Welcome back to the Chemical X podcast. It's your girl Alessia.
And your other girl, Veronica. And today we have a very special guest.
Hi. How's it going?
Good. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Before we get started into the episode, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment down below. We want to hear your thoughts, your emotions, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, which you will like it, so don't say you didn't like it. And also, guys, we do have these red caps out available right now, chemicalxpodcast.com. So go get yourself one because they are limited edition and they're not going to make back.
It's so fun to have guests on the podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like lately more than ever, it's just like, I have nothing left inside me. I have no stories for you guys. I have no opinion.
I seriously doubt that though. Like knowing you.
Becca, I'm
Please.
done. I'm done.
You are now in the hot seat.
Oh yes, I'm feeling it. Feeling hot. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you actually wanted to come on the podcast, which usually we have to force people to come on. So this was a nice change.
I was very willing.
This was a nice change to have someone that I feel like you just wanted to shed some light on so many things on your journey and everything that you're going through. So this podcast is yours now.
Oh boy. No pressure. No pressure.
Do you want to like explain a little bit about what made you kind of want to come on and the kind of things that you want to share?
Definitely. So I have cancer and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about my story. Wanted to bring a little bit of awareness because obviously like I'm not 60 years old, so we're young. Go check out your doctor, go see your doctor. And obviously just kind of talk about my journey and like dating and like still being single and wanting to go out there and still live my life even though like there's a time limit now. And I just want to kind of talk about the challenges of getting myself out there and like
I love that. I think it's very a unique thing that I guess people also of our age, like you said, you know, I think like the common, you know, perspective is like, oh, like it's something that people worry about when they're older or they don't see it as like a threat to like us where we are now at this age. So I think it's just really good to bring awareness to that. And I think it's an interesting perspective as well that you must have, like you said, going into dating, like these are things that maybe people who, you know, are suffering from cancer later on in their life don't really need to deal with.
No, definitely. And it's, so especially like being, you know, single, hot Montreal, I still want to feel good about myself. And I don't want to take, like, I don't want to take any time for granted. So like, you know, I'm going through this now and it's summer, but like, why can't I have a hot girl summer?
Absolutely.
So, get on out
You can
there.
have a hot girl summer.
Absolutely.
You mentioned go get checked, go to your doctor. Was there ever a point where you were like, maybe something's up, but I'm just like gonna ignore it? Because I know I'm like that. I could ignore something because I'm just like, it gives me anxiety and I almost rather not know, which is like the worst way to be. There's either people who are like hypochondriacs, like one little thing happens and they're like, oh my God, I'm dying. Or you're like me, or you're like, maybe something could be going on, but like,
I'd rather not know.
I'd rather not know.
Yeah,
that
so
was
what was
kind of it. Yeah.
That was you?
like kind of like Alessia?
A little bit.
You're like, because I'm the other one.
Especially like I obviously did not expect this at all. Like I was like, I'm still floored. I still don't even know what to say, really, truly. But so the first symptom, obviously, I had lumps on my neck and I had it for over a year. and I didn't get it checked. I just thought, well, it'll go by itself. It's like probably like a thyroid issue or something, you know, or I don't know. I just figured it would go off by itself. And it was this year in January. I'm like, you know what? I'll just go. I'll go on, try to get a doctor online and like go get a blood test and see what's up. And it was pretty much instantaneously. It was like, okay, you have cancer. We don't
Like
know.
you found out the day you went?
Pretty much a week after, once the results were in, and then it was test after test, 2 weeks of testing.
Where were you when they called you to let you know?
I was at home.
Okay.
And no one knew. None of my friends knew because like I wasn't like I, you know, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna go get tested. I don't care, you know, whatever. And when they called me and they said, don't panic, but you're gonna go to an oncologist and we're going to be doing more tests. I'm like, what's an oncologist? Like, what the hell is that?
What is an oncologist?
It's basically a cancer doctor.
Cancer specialist. Yeah. Okay.
So I went out this weekend and my ex had got me this really, really nice diamond bracelet that was like expensive. I got wasted this weekend and I lost it. Yeah, you're finding out right now. Yeah, and it was in the thousands. So I'm like, I want to die. And all my friends were like,
you lose it? 'Cause I'm going right now.
It wasn't meant to be. And like that chapter is now officially closed. And I was like, when you look at it that way, doesn't hurt any less.
Doesn't hurt any less.
The chapter was closed. I didn't associate the jewelry with it being on me.
Yeah.
With the ex.
But now you learned your lesson, and from now on, you're going to be wearing every jewels because it'll just sting a little less when you know you're getting affordable jewelry, but that also is great quality and looks like the real thing. So head on to Every Jewels and use our discount code ChemicalX for 20% off.
And so I was doing these tests and I still didn't even tell my mom, didn't even tell my friends, because I'm like, okay, it's cancer, but like what? Like,
yeah.
And it was kind of like a shock a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, test after test, I had very painful biopsies. I had my bone marrow biopsied, which is disgusting. Let me just say, like, in your bone, trying to get some nasty.
Yeah.
And then they told me it was lymphoma stage 4. And I was just about to go to Mexico the day after with all my friends, 5 friends from work. And I'm like, I have to keep it together. Like, on this trip, I cannot say anything. And it was afterwards I told everybody. But
I find it always happens like that. Like, kind of you have something that's about to happen, or like it's never at a time you're like, I could just take this time for myself. I feel like you're always like thrown into this mix.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine like going on a trip dealing with this and you not telling anyone. No. Obviously, I understand why you didn't, but it's like holding that in is like such a crazy burden to like just pretend like everything's okay.
For sure. And the worst part was that last year, like I'm 28 years old, I had the best year of my life physically and mentally, but I was sick. I had cancer the whole time and I didn't know.
Right.
So that's what was I'm still shocked about it because like I was feeling like I'm ready to go out there and date finally after like 5 years of nothing.
Yeah.
And just ready to put myself out there and like, you know, I'm feeling amazing. And then it's like, fuck you, Becca, like you have cancer. So it's kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know because we share a best friend in common. Rachel is very close to both of us. Yeah. So that's kind of how
Rachel actually also came on the podcast.
Rachel actually also came on the podcast. She's going to be like, why are you mentioning the fact that I came on the podcast?
I just usually mention the characters that have been on here.
Absolutely.
It's so true. She's going to be like, don't go fucking watch that episode. She's like, here I am, my friend's coming out to talk about cancer. And I'm here like, how to get a sugar daddy, seeking arrangements. She's going to be like, leave that part out. Yeah. And she was telling me how she was so happy that you were like finally getting back out there in the dating stage.
Yeah.
Because you were in a long-term relationship.
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah. And I've had like nothing going on since.
Like no sex. Like you were just
nothing.
Focusing on yourself.
I open my legs and there's like bats that come out. Like there is cobwebs down there. Legit. No, I'm not joking. And no, like nothing. So like, and I kind of didn't realize where the time had gone either. Like you think, 5 years is it is a long time, but like with the pandemic and everything.
Oh my God, for sure.
Like,
5 years is fucking nothing these days.
Summer,
you blink and 4 years pass.
Yeah. I just feel like the summer is gone. It's like, I didn't realize the time had gone by. I was like working on myself, working on buying a condo and like
saving for your future.
Saving for my future, which I don't have now, but fuck, we'll talk about that later. But it's just kind of like, yeah. So I was like, I didn't see the time go by, and I'm like, finally ready to go out there, and I have a libido, and I'm ready to go,
Yeah.
and like this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what cancer have you been diagnosed with?
So, okay, it is stage 4 lymphoma, follicular.
Okay.
Traditionally, the patients are 65 and up. So
Okay.
I'm very rare case.
Right.
I basically have to get chemo every 5 years with a life expectancy of 15
Years.
Okay.
years. So I have to get it pretty much 3 more times.
Is there like a miracle that can happen? It's like the trajectory is 15 years. Do the process 3
I
times?
might get another like year if that. But
Have you searched on like any miracles that have happened?
I it's so easy to fall into that, especially like on social media. It's like, oh, I just ate protein. I just ate my vegetables. It's like
Yeah.
at a certain point,
Yeah.
I'm very
I hear you.
realistic. I'm just kind of at the point where this is it, and I don't feel bad for myself at all. Like I'm just very like, this is my life. Like it's not my life, but it's just part of my story.
Right.
And I'm going to accept it, and just kind of, that's why it's like I'm ready to go out there and just kind of live my
Make
life
the
a little-
best.
make the best of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love
And-
your energy right now. It's just like, I'm going to just do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on dates. I'm going to
Yeah.
live my life. And I think like, that's how everyone should be. And sometimes even when you don't have anything going on, you think like you have all this time, but it's like nobody realizes that something can happen from today to tomorrow, you know? Like,
And that's the interesting thing too is, sorry to cut you off. It's like, I think it's crazy to be given a life a life expectancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When in reality, like everyone lives their life not knowing
What
this
tomorrow
invisible
holds.
number. And it's like, you know, my life expectancy could be 3 days. I just don't know.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy is like we live with this idea that like, oh, we have so much time, but
I know.
I think everyone should live with the fact that I think we should all live our life to the fullest and do what we want to do, regardless of the fact that we know how long is left or not, just based on the fact
Yeah.
that we actually don't know. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, and but I do think it's such a crazy thing to deal with, like knowing that number or that like
Yes.
Yeah.
estimate.
The thing I will say though is that it's so easy to say like life's so short and you should live, but the reality is life still goes on. And I've been telling this to my friends, and it's like you still have to live your life and you still have to pay your bills at the end of the day. So it's easy to say that, but at the same time, you don't know. Yes, you might have 3 days, but you might have 50 years. So
Yeah.
it's
Right.
like how do you play the middle field a little bit?
It's difficult.
But at the same time, having like that time, it's a blessing because like I can kind of plan my life in the
Right.
way of, okay, like I know I have 5 years until the next time I have chemo. What am I going to do in the next 5 years? It's kind
Right.
of like a blessing in a disguise.
Wow,
a
the
little
fact
bit.
that you just found the positive in
But
that
it's
is like, I'm going to
true.
start crying. Like,
no, but it's true. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It's like, it's exciting. Like when I got the diagnosis, like my doctor was, I think my doctor was like very much more upset than I was. Like I was kind of like, I'm still a little bit having like an out of body experience about it. I'm like disassociating majorly.
Right.
But my doctor was so upset for me because she was like, you're so young. You're not supposed to have this cancer. Like life's not fair. Nah, 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 nah. And but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, I still have to.
Do you feel like you went through like a stage of denial, and also are you still in it? Like
I'm
'cause
still in it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Because everything I knew, which is maybe not the positive side, but everything I know is a lie. Like everything I've worked so hard for is like not going to come to fruition
Right.
at all. Like I
Right.
worked so hard to like make investments and pay my condo and all these things and did overtime. Why the hell did I ever do that? It's for all for nothing.
Right.
Like really. And so that sense, it's like I'm very much like not understanding, still not.
Right.
But in the positive way, it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited now almost for like the future. Like I know I have this amount of time. When I go, I'll still be looking youthful and good, you know? It's like I'm doing that like aging filter on TikTok that everybody's doing. I'm like, oh, that's what I could have looked like, but I won't.
Oh my God.
No, it's true. And it's like, you know, it's sad, but it's the truth. It's like, okay, this is what I could have looked like, but not today, Becca, not for you.
You're like, I'm not gonna be that old fart. Like, I'm gonna leave when I'm hot, and everyone's gonna be like, "Where's Becca?"
Yeah. Like, my picture's gonna be lit. Like, everybody's gonna be like, she was so beautiful. It's like, yes, I was. Yes, I was.
Well, I think I think everyone deals with it differently, and there's no way to say like this is how you should do it, or this is the best way.
Yeah.
But I will say that sometimes, you know, ignorance is bliss.
For sure.
And I think in this case, you know, just the mere fact that maybe the bit of denial or whatever it is pushing you to do what you want to do, pushing you to live your life the way you want to in your hands. And you know, the crazy thing is, like, at least for the next 15 years, every minute you're spending it knowing that you're going to be doing exactly what it is you want to do. Whereas I think sometimes people get caught up in doing things for other people, doing things because they're afraid not doing something.
Yeah. For sure get caught up in like the day-to-day life, you know, and just kind of like doing laundry, going to work, eating, doing the same thing over and over again, which of course, like, 15 years is a long time. It is.
Yeah.
In that sense, like, I still have to like live, but no, I'll just maybe appreciate the little moments a little bit more, and just kind of when I'm like, you know, just hanging out with you guys, like, this is amazing, this is great, and
I'm
like,
so happy you're here.
and like just going out with like dinner with friends, it's like, you know, I'm
you're almost like cherishing like
so
every
much.
moment
I
now.
really am, like, and I have since pretty much a diagnosis. I'm like taking more pictures of my friends, like just enjoying the moment, and like, not taking it for granted, for sure.
It just sucks that like it takes things like that for us to live that way. And it's like inevitable. It's like it I get why it is that way, because, you know, it's so easy to just get swept away and just live every day and get upset about the smallest things. But like it just sucks that we need those things to happen in order to see the contrast and in order to see that other type of way of life, you know?
Yeah, but it's like, when you think about it, if this is it and you have 15 years, are you going to spend the 15 years kind of just being like, I feel shit, like I'm just like feeling sorry for myself, or am I going to be like, what has been on my bucket list? What am I going to get done before I die?
Right.
Type of thing. So has there been anything on your bucket list that you're like, I got to do?
That was one of the first things I thought of, was what am I going to put on my bucket list? Like, honest to God.
That's such a me thing that I would be like,
I feel like
pull out a pen and paper.
I was literally like, okay, what
I
do
feel like everyone
do?
would get there though.
Yeah.
It's like,
Sure.
hey, wait.
It's like the first thing you think of, because it's like, it's exciting. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, I have, you know, but I would like to meet a certain someone, you know, just like, no, I don't know. I don't have anything really specific yet. I'm still
Like jump out of a plane, like anything like.
I don't know. I can't say. I don't know.
You don't know.
No, I really don't, because the options are so endless.
Right.
It's kind of like,
Right.
I would love to, you know, travel, but that's easy to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know yet. I don't know. I'm just still in the phase where I'm debating, like, am I even going back to work? Like, what's the point? I'm at that point where
100%.
I'm kind of like, what's even the point of working? Or
Yeah.
like, do I even like what I do? I don't know. I'm just all these.
I love that. I love that
Yeah.
you're just like having an awakening. You're just like, why? Like, let me just
why?
live.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, it makes
Sometimes
sense.
I literally wake up and I'm like, but why? For
Yeah.
what? All this stress for what?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned like meeting a certain someone, and I know right before your diagnosis you were just getting back into dating. Have you still been dating? Obviously that's a super tricky area to navigate. We have a dating podcast here, and it's never something that's come up. And I just think it's obviously a unique experience for you. So do you want to let us in on that?
For sure. Well, you know, like, one of the first things I knew, like I did when I got diagnosed, was like, look up on social media people's like cancer journeys and their tips and tricks and things. And the one thing I couldn't find is obviously dating, because, you know, we're young and people are usually in like long-term relationships and everything. But yeah, no, it was very difficult, because obviously, like, I lost my hair, which is like, for me, my hair prior was like what made me feel super feminine. Like, that's how it made me, you know, have no tits. So that's what it was. That's all I got, you know. Sorry boys. And
You're like, you better like these locks.
they're like these locks in this truck. No. yeah, so I don't know. So it's kind of like I feel like when I feel good, I feel amazing. And obviously, like, I get chemo once every 3 weeks. So for 1 week out of the month, I don't feel good. But like the 2 other weeks, I feel like I can do anything a normal girl can do.
Right.
So I'm like, why am I stopping myself in that sense of like, I will never, if you were the man, I would never let you know. You would never know. Because like I would make sure like we're having a great time. Like I'm not in a wheelchair. Like let's do it.
Okay, so you're saying like you go out on a date and the first like you're not being like, by the way, like I have cancer.
Oh hell no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yes, but I only went on my first date last week actually.
And how did it
Oh
go?
really? How did it go?
It was the best first date I've ever had in my life and probably will ever have in my life.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god,
I love that. I feel like wait, it's so rare to have
But
a good
also,
first date.
I was shook it. I was
But
like,
also like your energy I feel like is very positive right now.
For
So I
sure.
feel like the only person you're ever gonna attract into your life, it's gonna be good.
it
you
better
know?
be fuck after
Yeah.
all this time. But yeah, no. So I was like, oh my god, what do I do?
Okay, wait, how did
Okay.
you meet him?
Hinge.
Okay, you met him on Hinge?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I was like, okay, what are the kids doing these days? It's been so damn long. Grandma's feeling rusty. Like, let's go. And everybody said Hinge. So I was like, okay, I'll do Hinge. And, oh no, we were like talking for a good 2 weeks before. And it was like instant, like, banter and like roasting each other. And it was
my
so
God.
good. I'm like, we're going to get along so well when we meet. I already
Yeah.
knew. And when we met, it was like, I don't know where the time went.
Where did you guys go?
We went to Elena's, and that's all we did, but it was perfect. Like, I didn't want to add more or add less. And yeah, I don't know. It was just like we're talking the whole time. I didn't feel shy at all. I felt amazing. Like, I wore like a certain wig, not this one, and like an outfit. And I'm like, you know what? Like, just fucking go for it.
Love it.
Yeah. And no, it was great. And we're going to see each other maybe next week.
Ooh, that's fun. That's
Okay.
exciting.
But then that adds to the question, and I've been asking all my friends because I also want to know, like, what do people think? And, you know, I want to have, like, some expertise here. Okay, if I sleep with him, you know, what do I tell him so that he obviously doesn't pull my hair? The consensus with all my friends are saying, don't even worry about it. Like, he's not even going to know. Like, you're overthinking it. But, like, you have to be prepared because, like...
That would be a shocker.
That man will have PTSD for the rest of his life. Okay? So, how would you guys put, like, you know, I don't know.
Just don't let him hit it from the back, I guess.
That's my favorite.
Stay on the pillow as long as you can.
Pillow princess. No, but that's, like, I'm sorry. That's my favorite.
I'm trying to think.
Well-
wait, is there a way like, well, right now the wig you're wearing, like, if you pull it, will it come out?
If it gets yanked, yeah.
But like, if he pulls a little bit, it won't.
I know, but how can you tell a man
No,
pull it a certain way?
I know.
Don't
think
No.
If there's a way we can like glue that shit.
I think if you feel a hand, just go, don't touch.
If he pets, you know, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Maybe. What if you? I don't know. You
don't
wear
know
a
if-
Chemical X cap.
During sex.
You'll be like, honey, the lights are off.
And you know what's worse is you can't say it before. You can't be like, don't pull my hair, because then it's like, why not?
Yeah, but when would I tell him?
But I feel like you can't say it, because then it's like, why not? Because then that, it's...
But that's why. That's why it's like,
Yeah.
how would you guys
What
say
if
it?
you just? What if you
can't.
just say like you hit your head somewhere and you're like a little bit in pain? So like, try to stay off the head.
I feel like that's too many questions afterwards.
That's like, you know, when
I
you
don't
know you're
know.
lying, you
I
give too
think
much.
you just gotta wing it.
I think you just
That's
gotta
what
say nothing.
Yeah.
I feel like
Oh.
first time you have sex, it's never like... I feel like people like, they're trying to figure you out.
It's so true.
So
like
people
you're literally
jump
still on
into-
your best behavior.
Yeah.
You're still like, ooh, does she like
like,
that?
it's like they'll do a little, like, they're not gonna
Normally
go
no
full
one-
choke,
yeah.
full pull.
yeah. On the third time, you might get a little shock.
Yeah.
You might be
Wait.
good for your.
First time you might be safe.
Yeah.
But then again, what if I spend the night? Then like what if he's like, come in the shower? I don't want to be complicated.
Right.
I don't want to be like, how do I play this where he doesn't ask too many questions?
And you don't want to tell him.
No, because you know what? And some people might say, well, you're like lying to him or you're trapping him. And in a way, like, first of all, I don't owe you like such a big part of my life to tell you.
I agree, honestly. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Absolutely not. And secondly, you would, like, that's my baggage. I will never let you know, like, you would never know.
Okay, but wait,
you
Becca, what if things get like really, like you guys start really liking each other? Is this something like you plan on telling him, or do you never want to say anything or try and hide it as long as possible?
I mean, it's hard.
Do you follow him on Instagram when we post this?
No. Okay. He's not on Insta, so green flag.
Okay.
But
He goes, why the fuck didn't you tell me?
But I don't, like, obviously I would want to like eventually,
Yeah.
but I think I would know intuitively, like, when it would be the right time. But I've thought about it.
I think that's fair, though. I think a lot of people have baggage or things that they maybe don't want to say straight off the bat because it might like have an impact on how they feel before they really get to know you. And it's like, once you fall in love with me, we could deal with the rest.
The only thing that would literally impact him would be the fact that he would know I'm bald, because I would never like expect him to like take care of me, or like I would literally like just avoid him when I wouldn't feel good. So in that sense, it's like I literally can do anything I would normally do. I can't run a marathon, but like, so in that sense, it's a little bit like, why would you treat me differently when I don't treat myself differently?
Right.
I think.
But I do think, though, there is certain things that might be impacted. Like, I know just before this, you were talking about how, like, you chose not to have kids and, like, that kind of stuff, which comes into play, like, when it comes into what you guys both want for your future, let's just say. You
but
know
they're not even
it's
there yet.
No, 100%. But I think it's tricky when it comes to those conversations.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's obviously not first, second. You know, it's a little more down the line.
Absolutely. And it's kind of hard to, like, you know, I want to be in that like giddy stage, and I don't.
For sure,
I'm
I
like,
get that.
I'm excited, but I also don't want to have expectations because then I'll be very hurt.
Yeah.
But no, definitely, like, it's discussions to be had, and the person does deserve to know, absolutely. But yeah, I'm
Who
not
cares
there
now?
yet.
You're dating. You're
I'm
like
just kind of out there.
Yeah.
But especially if someone's on Hinge and they're like want children, I'm not gonna swipe yes to that person because I already knew I didn't want to have kids prior to even cancer or anything.
Okay, well then that's great though.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. But then now it's kind of like they asked me if they wanted to retrieve my eggs before the chemo, and then I kind of doubted myself a little bit because now the choice is taken from me.
Right. And it's not yours to make.
It's not mine to make, but I was like, you know what? I have 15 years, so I'm not even gonna be here if I have a kid. So I chose not to.
I think a lot of people will listen to this, and naturally people filter this through what their moral compass is, and they're gonna be like, this is what I think is right to do, this is what I think is wrong to do.
But it's not your story, though.
But that's what I'm saying. I think the main part is that this is you, and no one that's listening to this is probably, no one ever has the same life, right? We don't go through the same thing. So it's like, at the end of the day, this is up to you, and the way you want to navigate it is solely up to you. And what anyone has to say or what anyone thinks about it doesn't really matter, because you know what's right for you.
Yeah.
And sometimes what's right for us isn't always the most morally sound thing. Yeah. Sometimes you just need to do what feels right for you, and people
1000%.
are selfish. We need to do what feels right for us, and that's okay sometimes. You know what I mean? I'm not saying go out and fucking shoot someone in the head, but like I think it's okay sometimes to prioritize what you want, and you want to just be in this giddy state and just live normally and not have to address this right now. I think that's fine. Yeah. I think that's what you want, and that's what you should do.
I don't even think it's a sometimes thing. I think just in life, you have to be selfish with yourself and what you want. Always. You cannot love someone until you love yourself. You cannot give anybody anything until you fulfill yourself. So if that's what it takes for you to fulfill yourself, then you got to just listen to you. It's not about anybody else. I know people are going to listen to this and be like, it's not right that she's not telling her the person, even if it's that she has cancer. But it's not your story.
The thing is, you know, if I think it's going really well, let's say I decide to open up he can ghost me tomorrow, and then I'm like, why did I go through all the motions of telling my story 100%. and
open yourself up
like over and over again? And it's like, you know, I'm not a crying person. Like, I don't, like, I'm very happy to share my story, but it still takes a toll, you know, because people then have questions, and it's a little bit like, they don't really understand. And you know what? I have to say, as much as people don't mean to, and they really don't mean to, they do treat me differently the second I tell them. So it's like, oh, if that was me, I would feel fine. And you don't know that.
Yeah.
You really don't know that. And it's like, oh, well, you know, Natalie Portman was hot when she was bald. And like, you know, I'm like, but I'm not Natalie Portman, okay? Let's be honest. Like, I'm Becca, and that's it. And yeah, so I think it's easy for people to say, like,
Always easier.
But you don't know.
You don't know.
No.
But you know what I think the interesting thing is? I think we think a lot like, oh, like you had said, like, oh, well, you're trapping him or whatever. Like we said, it's like everyone has a life expectancy that they don't know.
Right.
Only some are given like this knowledge that they have to, the burden of knowing, right? And it's like, you can be in a relationship and love them and not know that they're going to die in 5 years, let's say. Yeah. Okay? But you'll never love them any less. You're going to love that. And after that 5 years, would that person turn around and say, had I known 5 years ago, would I fall in love with you? They would never be like, no, I would have never done it. Yeah. Everyone would still choose the love over, you know, whatever love and time that they had together. Yeah. So I just think it's unfair for people to say that, because it's like, at the end of the day, we all don't know. You know what I mean? Everyone gets into a relationship not knowing. It's never, like we always take it for granted, or it's never taken for granted. I don't know how the saying is, but it's like we all don't know. We all have no idea. No. So it's just unfair to be like, oh, well, you know, therefore, like, you have to like warn people, because like at the end of the day, everyone else doesn't know, and no one is going along with a warning sign of like, well, don't date me because, you know, I might, something might happen tomorrow. Or like you can't live life that way, you know? So I just think it's like, I hope that everyone else can have that perspective as well. And be able to look at it through that lens.
Absolutely. And it's like, you know, I'm going out there, I'm dating. If the guy that I had an amazing date with, like, nothing happens next week, I won't be sad because I had that amazing experience. But whoever does choose, I'm not ready to like jump into a relationship, but I definitely want to, like, you know, have, I don't know, something to be excited about. But that person, like,
and that's fucking fair.
Yeah, absolutely. And like that person, like, you're gonna have a good time with me because I'm gonna be enjoying every minute of every day. And like, you know,
you're like, I'm not saying the cancer girls are where it's at.
No, but you know, it's
100%.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. So it could be a good time, just saying. And can I just add, I do have different wigs, so I could be like a different girl every night. You know, you just same girl, but like,
you will never get tired of me.
A little
Becca with the good hair.
That's right, Becca with the good hair. A little role play, you know where it's at.
Yeah. You're like, baby, what do you want tonight? We got red hair, we got short hair.
Did this guy try and sleep with you first day?
No, and he didn't even kiss me. And he texted me like, oh, are you home? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah. And then it started to get a little bit spicy. And I was like, oh, well, you should have kissed me. And he's like, well, next time. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
Well, next time.
To be continued.
It's nice, especially for what you want and the excitement and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's when I'm in the dating stage, my favorite thing is to take things slowly, because I feel like that's the whole fun. The whole fun is anticipation. You know, it's like the whole date you're thinking about, oh my God, we might kiss at the end of it. And that's what's fun about it. Because if you know you're going to kiss, it's like, whatever. I just think like that's what makes it so fun. And that's why it's really exciting to take it slow to take things one by one and to do these little things. It just makes everything like, oh, my first
also,
kiss
like, you wake up every day and you're just like thinking about it.
Yes.
It's like, so exciting.
Yeah, I'm at that point. But I do have to say, like, I'm getting chemo on Friday. And he was like, well, are you free this weekend? And I'm like, no. He hasn't asked me why yet. So I was like, maybe next week. Because it usually takes me about a week to, like, get back to normal.
Right.
But, like, cancer's cock-blocking me because it would have happened this Saturday. Like, legit. So,
very rude.
Very rude. How dare you?
Rude.
How dare you? And, you know, so it's kind of like, yeah, I want to take things slow and it's exciting for me. But at the same time, it's like,
Becca's playing hard to get with him.
Well, I don't want to be.
But
I know,
like, if it's all for the better.
It's all for the better.
Maybe, you know, but will he lose interest? I don't know.
Oh, no. Men are hunters. They love a good chase. Are you kidding me? No. Baby, he's even more upset.
I just gotta keep playing prey then, so. That's why I'm, like, asking all my friends. I'm like, what do I do about this fucking hair? Like...
I'm trying to think of a solution.
It's like some of my friends were like, okay, well, lights off. Tell them don't pull my hair. Don't take a shower. And I'm like, God, how
I mean,
how
how many?
boring
I think
are
like the
you?
shower thing. We always think like when you first like sleep with a guy, you're just gonna jump in the shower because it just seems like the very fucking movie like thing. But like, I've rarely ever taken a shower with
no.
somebody that I've hooked up with for the first time.
Yeah.
Because I literally come out looking like a wet dog, and it's something I will always avoid until like you fall in love with me first. I'm not risking that just
And
yet.
even if I'm showering like neck down,
I
like
feel
it's like
like-
I'm in the shower and I'm like this, so it
and
avoids my face.
I feel like it only happens like
relationship vibe.
relationship.
I'm trying to think of a
Really?
solution
Okay.
for the not
Yeah.
hair pulling. You know what you could do though? I think like if you have very like passionate sex.
I think it will be.
So I don't think it
gonna be
gets like it depends your vibe. Like I
Yeah.
think if you already know that someone's like a frick on the sheets,
Yeah.
you gotta be like, ooh, let me strap this wig in. But like
Yeah.
I think if it's gonna be more like the sensual,
Sensual.
passionate, I don't feel like it's gonna get to
Like, have you tested it? Like, have you been like,
How hard
Oh,
can we
I
go?
definitely did, and I was with my cousin the other day, and we were like rolling. I was like, she was like, "No, it looks fine," and I'm like, "Okay, try." And I don't know, like, it's hard to tell because
Yeah.
like I don't know what he will do,
and like, just,
and I can't control
yeah.
the whole situation either. So it's like, ugh.
Yeah, I think stop trying to like analyze and control and
just
just
want to be ready though.
and
That-
just go.
you know what? Everything I know we think things happen so fast, but
Yeah.
things actually happen in slow motion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not gonna be like a 1-2, your wig's off. I feel like you're gonna know
You're gonna
signs
feel- you're
and
gonna
just
be-
be like, baby, let me do the work. Strap his hands down. Be the dom.
That's hot, yeah.
that's
You know what I mean?
I
Do
can see
something.
that.
Pull
Yeah.
something out. Don't touch me. This is my show.
Yeah,
You
you know what? Just get the handcuffs. Just
You know
handcuff
what?
it.
On top and missionary, and you're good.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
top and missionary, pillow princess, or
princess.
riding,
Yeah.
and you will have no problem.
ride or die.
Just don't let him.
Yeah.
Don't leave the back of the head unattended.
And I think you feel like he's pulling. Just be like, my head's hurting a bit.
you know what
like,
you can
don't-
also say. I just didn't think of this. You could also just. So we're like, I keep forgetting that we're like right in the middle of summer. Like I just realized that we're like mid-July.
It's going by so fast.
Don't know how we got here. But that being said, if there's anybody listening that is having sweaty balls and we're middle of summer, then not only have you not been listening to our episodes, but you don't know what you're doing because you need to be getting on Manscaped because they are the best in below the waist grooming and they have everything, literally everything from shampoo and conditioner to a ball trimmer to ball deodorant to ball toner, everything that's going to keep you dry, smelling good, and feeling smooth.
No more excuses. So head on to Manscaped and use our discount code ChemicalX at checkout to receive 20% off your entire order and free shipping. So you could be smelling good, looking good this summer, and getting laid.
Just didn't think of this. You could also just be like, I have extensions. Because that's what every girl with extensions says is, I have extensions, don't pull my hair.
Wow.
Could.
Which is like
What if-
such a,
but-
which
yeah.
is like such a, every girl with extensions says that.
What if he says like, what if he kind of notices? Like, I know it's not noticeable, but have you ever thought about that? What
For
you would
sure.
say?
Are you kidding me?
Just
That's
gaslight him. I don't know what you're talking
what?
What the fuck?
Oh.
Are you wearing a wig?
That is a male
think
specialty
I'm
right
lying?
there for sure. No, I've definitely thought about it. I would deflect. I would definitely deflect. I wouldn't be like, let me tell you my
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
You're crazy.
yeah.
Like,
You should get your eyes checked.
I'd be like,
This is a you problem.
yeah, I don't know. I really wouldn't know. That's why it's like I want to just kind of let things happen naturally, but like even if it doesn't happen with him, it's going to happen like
At some point.
It's going to happen at some point. Like I'm still going to be dating after him, and I had an amazing day with him. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to keep going. So I'm kind of just want to be prepared and like have a little script in my mind. You know, just.
I have
You know what?
extensions, babe. Don't pull
Yeah,
on this.
that might be a
That's
good
a-
one.
The
Yeah.
extensions,
Yeah.
because I just
Yeah.
realized that all girls say that. It's like,
Yeah.
don't pull my hair, extensions. But I think at the end of the day, the best thing when someone is asking a question that you don't really want to answer is to just shut them down with like a statement of like whatever it is. Like if somebody would be like, are you wearing a wig? You should be like, yeah, I like changing my hair. And then it's like you offer no other information. People sense that it's like, okay, you put them in a corner where they have nothing left to
Yeah.
say because if you were open to it, you would kind of hint at that.
Yeah.
And if people probably just be like, yeah, I literally just like changing my hair color, like changing my hairstyle.
If I'm
That's
like
it.
confident about it, I think there's no room for interpretation.
Exactly.
It's kind
It's
of
like,
Yeah.
don't.
this is it. Like,
This is it.
yeah.
Take it or leave it. You do what you want with that. And I think it's just about being stern and like knowing the information that you want to share and knowing that you don't owe anyone more than you want to give. If
Yeah.
it's something you want to say, power to you, whatever it is that you want to do. But I think sometimes as humans, we feel entitled to information. And I think
Yes.
a lot of times we need to be put in our place like, you don't need to know that.
Yeah.
It's not your information to know.
Because like we're just dating. It's like I don't know anything like major about him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like definitely. Yeah, I don't know.
You know when you're like dating somebody or like you're just going on dates and it's like they have so many skeletons in the closet, but you don't get to know them until until they fucking hurt you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
this and this. Well, why couldn't I know that from like the beginning? It's
Yeah,
kind of like
for
the same
sure.
thing with like you don't need to know this information. Just like I don't know everything that's in your closet.
Yeah.
We're just dating. Let's just even see if we're vibing. Why do I? Yeah. I
Absolutely.
100%
and he'll
agree with
definitely
you.
notice because like I'm wearing different wigs every time I wore a
Try to
different
keep them consistent.
Well, I will try, but like just try to change up my vibe a little bit. So
She's gonna show up with a black bob. He's gonna go, yeah.
He'll be like, Jesus. But yeah, no, I don't know. I just
You could even be like, I had a bad experience with like a haircut, and then I just was like,
that's what one of my friends
like
said.
I don't like it, and like I dyed it, and it just hasn't grown completely back. So now I just like switch it
Yeah.
up.
Protective hairstyle as well. You know what I think? I think most of the time people actually don't ask those questions.
That's
Yeah.
I think people are kind of just like, you know what? He won't even notice. He's a guy. Like, what the hell does he
Literally.
fucking know? Yeah.
Number one.
Number
And also,
one.
I think even if he would, people are not usually
I
are not usually the
also
type to say something
I think
like
also
that.
around the topic of like anything to do with cancer, I feel like people are very like what they can and can't ask. I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the times we think, oh my God, they're going to ask us. But then I feel like asking would be like, oh my God, what if I ask this and it hurts the way they feel? So I
Exactly.
feel like people more or less are like gauging.
Absolutely, especially with a wig too. I feel like
Yeah.
you would gauge like I probably won't ask about this, you know?
Yeah.
But as the person on the other end, I would be the same way like what if I
Yeah.
need every like
all I'm
script
thinking about.
ready to
Yeah.
go, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But at the end of the day, like you just know that you don't owe it to anyone, and whatever information you want to share, that's up to you. And if it's literally like literally you could be like none of your concern, and that person will be like, I'll just go fuck myself, literally.
Are you open to going on other dates? Like, are you just like Hinge, let's go?
I kind of, ever since our date last week, I haven't been back on the app.
Girl,
Because
Get back on the app.
I know.
Get back on the app. I don't like that you're already doing this.
That's what Rachel
it's
said.
bothering me. Oh,
Yeah.
Rachel and I are very, very similar.
I know. Rachel said that, and she's like, what
We're
if-
not putting all our eggs in one basket, especially when we just found out we have 15 years to live it the fuck up.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Definitely. I love that energy.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Call,
You just
call
got
me,
yelled.
Call me every morning. Just so preoccupied with him. Like, I don't know. I'm just like feeling all giddy. So I'm like,
This
if
is
I
the thing that
entertain
scares
another
me
man-
about this
I
is that
know.
you're putting all your eggs in one
I
basket.
know.
You're getting very giddy about this one guy. And then what if the date never happens? And then you're kind of just like been thinking about it. You're going to get so disappointed on what happened.
But isn't it like a version of manifesting though? If I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket, but I'm manifesting having a second date, third date, fourth date with
The
this
thing
guy.
is the aura you're going to bring out when you have like your eggs in many baskets, it's going to come off less thirsty, more like
Yeah.
what's the word? Like you're just going to be more
Unavailable.
Not unavailable, but open
but
to
just
what's
like,
available.
Imagine
and-
you went on one date and you're already feeling this way. What if you realize after going on a couple that like, there's I could connect with more than one person. So it's like,
Yeah.
especially that, you want to just kind of like date now. Don't close off anything. Force yourself almost.
I'll have to.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm opening the app right now.
I'm doing it right as soon as I get home. Yeah. No, for
Absolutely.
sure. I know. Yeah. It's just.
I'm going to
It's fun.
force you to do that.
It's fun. I get it.
But I have to say, I don't know why, but like it's a little humbling. I wasn't expecting that, but like the guys that like you, sometimes it's like, really, dude? Like I don't think I'm like a 10, but like I don't know.
Well,
You know
I
what
also
mean?
think
I'm
that-
kind of like the guys that are liking me. I'm like, really? Like,
I
sorry.
feel like
Like
guys
in
are
what
like,
sense?
like they're not good enough for you.
like
you're
they're
saying.
they're like a 1.
You're like, you think I would go for you?
A
Like I'm
little
insulted.
bit, and I'm like not.
Oh, okay,
I'm
I'm
not like
getting
a
my-
super confident person. I don't think like I'm amazingly looking, and obviously I'm bald. Who the fuck am I to say like, oh, you're not good enough for me?
Girl,
But-
you set your own standards.
Absolutely.
Your standards could be as high as you want them to be.
Absolutely, but it's a little humbling experience. So it was a little bit discouraging at one point. I was like, really? Like I don't know. Can't
I think that men in general tend to
they
have
think
this
they're
like
a 10 no matter what. They think
these
they're
guys
like the world.
will be like,
Yeah.
if you ever hear men talking about their dream girl, it's sometimes like, do you know? Like I feel like men are, and it's like, it's nice. Honestly, I pride men on that.
Yeah, I was
they
gonna
are
say-
so.
But guys, I feel like
and
they
I
can
don't think
be
it's a
that
bad
way.
thing. I don't think it's a bad thing.
I feel
but
like
just
if there's
think-
anyone who can be like that, it's men.
that's what I'm
No,
saying. I think
and
men
women.
because
Why do we think
Absolute-
we're lesser? We
That's
always
what I'm
do.
saying. That's not what I'm
Women,
saying.
we
Yeah.
always like gauge ourselves like, oh, I'm not pretty enough for him, or I'm not this enough for him. But I feel like one thing I will say, it's kind of like a positive thing about men, is that they're like, fuck it, she might want me, she might want to smash, and it's like, you know what, you're
Maybe.
Delulu, but that's okay. Like,
I think
men
it's
are fucking
because-
delusional, but it's
yeah.
okay. It's okay. You just gotta.
I think it's because us women, when we're dating and stuff, we're able to look past looks, I feel
For
like,
sure.
more than men.
Oh,
I
we
feel
do.
like
Yeah.
as women, we could be like, oh, he's not the best looking, but he's so funny and he
Yeah.
has this and he has that. Whereas I feel like men are a little bit more like looks at the beginning before personality,
Yeah.
and us women are more open to the idea of like, he's not a 10, but bada bing, because
Yeah.
we're more like emotional and like we can sense out more things than just like looks,
For sure.
if that makes sense.
No,
I
it
agree
does.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of brings me though. What you brought up brought me to my question that I had.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing,
Bing,
bada
bing, bing,
boom.
bing, bing. I want to talk about how maybe your confidence and your body image kind of changed. Obviously, like you said, your hair was really important to you,
For
made you
sure.
feel feminine.
Yeah.
So losing that, I can imagine, was definitely an experience for you.
It
And
was
how has
devastating.
like your body, like, walk us through that. Walk us through how your image of yourself has
Yeah.
changed, or gotten better, gotten worse, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, my hair was like for sure devastating, and it wasn't the buzzing of the hair. It was the days prior. It wasn't gradual. It was literally one day I woke up and I look at my pillow and there is like a clump, like as if you were to like in your drain in your shower. It was like, and that was more traumatizing to me than the actual buzzing of my hair. Yeah, no, it was very difficult, but I have to say, and everybody does agree with me, but I'm not ugly bald. I have a very,
Nice head.
I really do have a nice head, and I will say that about myself, and I never riz myself up, but like, I was like, okay, not that bad, and
Wow.
it definitely does, like, I don't know. It's been difficult for sure. Like, don't feel like myself, obviously. Just even, how do I say, like, muscle memory, like doing 28 years of doing this when I go to
Yeah.
bed, and now I don't do it. So I was doing it for about 2 months. When I was going to bed, I'd go, and it's like, I'm bald. That was
Right.
freaky as all hell to
For
me.
sure.
I was like,
my
just
God,
the
yeah.
muscle of like, and it's like,
yeah.
oh. And
Or like putting your hair behind you, like all these
yes,
things that you
all these
subconsciously
things, yeah,
do.
Yeah. And you're not allowed to lose weight on chemo at all. So that's been kind of hard because like I was like on a good path where I was at a good weight, and I'm not really someone who like cares to stay thin or whatever, but I was just feeling really confident in my body, and I had been in Mexico and I was like feeling really good, and then all of a sudden it's like you got to kind of pack on the pounds, and I'm like, really? Like I just felt like finally so good in my body, so that was difficult because
So by not losing weight, like you can't go on a diet, you can't intentionally try to lose
No.
weight, and if anything, you should try to gain weight. Is what you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Wow. Okay.
And
And what about drinking? Like, how is that? You're like, well, I'm not
you're
supposed
like-
to do it, but like,
very honestly, and I'm
but like, also, at what point do you just live to,
that's where I'm at. Like I'm a pretty big drinker, like social events or even when I'm at home alone, like especially summer, like I like to have like my vodka lemonade, like, and I'm not denying myself. I'm obviously not getting sloshed or anything.
Yeah.
Like I used to, but I'm yeah, I'm not denying myself, but it's definitely not a good thing, because the thing is like I can't recover from anything. So if my kidney's like working double time, like I had to skip chemo last time because I had a binging night, and I had to skip it for a full week. So that means like instead of me being done like the first week of August, I'm now done at the end of August.
Right.
But that's my stupid mistake.
Right.
I just have to be very careful. Like I can't be around sick people. I can't even get a paper cut because I can get hospitalized. Because I can't fight off any infection.
Right.
Can't eat
Cut while you're on chemo.
Yeah.
Right.
So I can't like even eat like sushi. I can't eat nothing. No cookie dough.
Like anything that could put you at risk
Yeah.
of feeling any sort of
Yeah,
like
exactly.
putting your immune system in like
in a compromising situation.
Yeah.
If you even have like a sniffle, I can't even be around you.
Wow.
So it's kind of been. I'm kind of happy I'm going through this in the summer and not like the winter where everybody's like gross and.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely. Wow, that's really interesting. I think these are things that it's like logically I should know, but it's just
Right.
not something that I do
Right.
know.
And I was
Yeah.
even
Makes
saying, like, you were saying how you don't get your period.
Right.
I was like, I didn't know that was something that
Yeah.
stopped when you're on chemo.
Yeah. But it could or it couldn't. Everybody has like a different story, you know? Like everybody goes through different types of chemo, different types of surgeries and things like that. But like, yeah, for me, I didn't have it for like 5 months. And then all of a sudden I was like, what the hell, man?
Did you have anybody that you
And
could
you're
like?
like, let's go back to
Can
not
we,
having this.
yeah, and like,
Can
you
we
know,
shut this off?
I'm kind of liking the whole no shaving situation too. Like if we can just keep that going on, you know? Cause
You're like,
Oh
can
my
I just choose the
God.
pros here?
like, literally,
100%.
yeah.
For sure. When you found out you had it, was there anybody that like you knew that's had cancer that you could have like reached out to and spoke to?
I kind of went more online, but I do have a friend whose mom went through breast cancer,
Okay.
which was very helpful, and like she's been there for me for sure. But no, like social media pretty much, because like who do
Like
I
TikTok?
yeah, for sure. And like who do I know? Like
Yeah.
we all know someone who's had cancer,
Right.
and everybody's kind of like, oh, cancer. It's not a little thing. It's literally like I would not wish this upon anybody. But no, it's been very helpful to go on social media and like find information and.
Absolutely. I think as much as social media can be a bad place, I also think in times like this, it's
Yes.
such a good place, and it's such like a beacon of information
Yes.
and a place to like find. I think that's the greatest thing about social media is finding a community.
Yeah.
And the sense of community. And I think especially for something like this where you tend to feel alone, you know, like you said,
I
it's like
don't feel
everyone
alone.
knows, you know what I
Yes,
mean? But it's
yeah.
like having that community that's there for you, that you can watch other people go through the same experiences of you and just
Yeah.
learn from them or relate. All those little things are valuable beyond what can even be
Yeah.
comprehensible, especially in a situation like this,
For
you know,
sure.
or really in any situation. Just being understood, being heard is something that I feel like everyone strives to be.
Yes, for sure.
So.
Representation definitely matters, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, no, I don't feel alone. Like, you know, it's kind of hard to talk about it with friends because like they, you know, they're understanding, but they don't really understand. So it's yeah, I kind of had to.
Have you
look-
reached out to like anybody that you've seen on like TikTok or?
yeah, just like questions on like, you know, like stupid questions on like how to glue a wig and stuff like that. But like, no, it's been very helpful, and it's been, yeah, I don't know. It's been very helpful.
I'm happy at least that there's that out there, you know?
Yeah.
And
I
I
know.
think this too, I'm glad that what we're doing right now is also acting as
For
a part
sure.
of that, you
For
know,
sure.
for anyone that,
Yeah.
you know, like you said, you're like, what the fuck do I do about pulling my hair? It's like all these things that someone out there is also looking for
For
the same
sure.
answer.
Like who
Oh, yeah,
knows?
yeah.
A hairdresser might be watching this and says, "Becca, come see me. Like I have a hookup for you. Like
Yeah.
I'll."
There's just so
You
many
know,
things
like,
that are opened
That's
up.
the beautiful thing about
Yeah.
social media.
I wanted to say, like, with all this happening, obviously it's still new,
Yeah.
right? It still hasn't even been a year.
No.
Everything's changing so fast. What would you say is like the biggest lesson that you've learned, the biggest thing that has changed your perspective on life? Just something in general that you're like, this was a really important lesson for me to learn. You can think about it.
Can I drink on it?
Yeah.
Absolutely, we're learning every day on this podcast. Let me tell you.
Yeah. The biggest lesson. Hold your loved ones a little bit more dearly. And yeah, definitely just it's the little things. It's literally like you have a good cup of coffee when you wake up, you get a text from someone you've been thinking about. It's all those little things. And it's so, like, we always say that, it's so cliche, but it's the truth. And it's like, I don't know. It's just open your eyes. Like, just open your eyes and look around you and, like, take a deep breath and everything's going to be just okay. I don't believe things happen for a reason, but I do think that there's beauty in everything, and this is just part of my story, and it's not my life. It's just part of my story, and that's kind of how I'm going about it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure in the next, like, 5 years, there will be many more lessons and many more things I'll come out of it. Yeah. Because this is, like, I don't, like, I'm still, like...
You're still going
I'm
through
still
it.
reeling through it. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is my life right now?
Yeah.
I think what's fair to say, also, I totally agree with you. And I think what I think the most powerful quotes are always so cliche. They're always so overused that we're like blind to them. But sometimes if you really sit, or if one really hits home, you're like, wow, I finally understand why people say this, or like, it's so true. And like, even though we say this all the time, I wish people would just understand it more. But I think it's all a part of the journey, and what I like is that you're saying, like, it's just a part of my story and it doesn't make it who you are.
No.
And I think so much we like label people as like
the cancer girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's like sometimes you just want to be you with these things that have happened to you, but it's just you.
And the worst part is that personally, like, this isn't the worst thing that's happened to me. Like, truly, like, I feel like it's just part of my story, but at the same time, yeah, it's very easy to label, but I don't pity me. Like, I'm fine. Like, life gives, like, the hardest battles to people who can take it, and, like, I've taken it, and I can still take more, and, like, people will be like, oh, and I'm like, no, like, I don't pity myself at all. Like, if I think this is rock bottom, there's another rock bottom, and I'll be able to be there, and I'll fucking fight it, because, like, I can do anything. Like, that's literally how I feel. Like, I can go through anything. I've gone through it. I'll go through it again in 5 years. No problem. Like,
it's always mind over matter with anything.
Always. Yeah.
And I think the reality is everyone can do anything. I think the biggest problem is that people just don't believe that they can.
Exactly.
And the fact that you do, and it's not even about believing, it's that you know that you can, is what differentiates it. Is the way that you can live and be like, this is just a part of my story and I can take more. You know, like,
for sure.
And that's what's so important. I think that all this is great advice, and it's all things that can be adapted to, like, our life in general. What anyone's going through.
Yeah.
Don't take anything for granted.
No.
Appreciate the small things and do whatever the fuck makes you happy.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. And, you know, you can change your life at any moment's notice. Like, it doesn't take much, really. You just...
It doesn't. You just do it.
Just wake up and just decide to do something different.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
If you knew 5 years earlier what you know now, what would you have done differently?
I have to say, I feel like my 20s were, like, really disappointing to me, which is why I felt like last year was, like, the best. Like, I felt like what I should have been doing this entire time. But, like, 5 years ago, had I known, not worked as much, kept connections with, like, old friends, and, like, really put myself out there. Don't be shy to, like, be yourself and meet new people. And I probably would have, I don't know, like, it's so hard to say, because it's like, it's so easy to say I would have done it, but who knows?
Who knows?
I
the
feel
journey
like
brought me here.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like your whole energy of being so open-minded and so ready for the world now is because you kind of maybe, like, played it a little bit more safe in your 20s, you know? Because I feel like maybe if you would have been so out there, this would have affected you even more now, probably.
Because then I would have been
now
like, I'm missing out on all my fun things I was doing before. And now it's like, no, I wasn't, like, I was doing it, but, like, not how I should have. But definitely. Like, I'm going to be more appreciative because I just kind of kept my head down for, like, so many years and just worked on myself. And, like, but no, I probably would have.
Are you working at the moment?
No, I'm off.
You're off.
Oh yeah, I can't work. Oh hell no.
And, like, at what point, like are you supposed to go back? Because you were
when
saying,
I'm ready, which would they told me.
are you at least like able, like, are they paying you for at least being like off?
Yeah, like on insurance.
Okay, that's good.
But it's like nothing compared to what like all the overtime I used to make is like nothing. But,
right.
They say like, I mean, it's when you're ready. Everybody's case is different, but for me, I would think it'd be like a year after I'm done. So I would think probably next May or June.
Okay. Are you still living in your condo?
Yes.
And do you plan on selling it and like moving in with like fam, or are you planning on staying? You're like, haven't got that far yet.
No, I have actually. It's like a conversation I have to have with my mom, but like she's not obviously ready for it. This is gonna make me emotional. I don't know if I'll want to do it 3 times the chemo. So I'm at the point where I'm like thinking like sell everything and like literally just go live life and oh my God, and maybe choose to decide when it's my time to go instead of letting life do its course. And
Right.
I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm at the point where I'm like,
One step at a time.
What I would like is to choose when I go and get like a medically assisted death. But obviously like my mom would not want that. And like none of my friends would want that because it's like you're choosing to go before you have to go. But I don't know. I'm at the point where I would like to sell everything and just fucking go live my life. When I'm ready to go, I'm going, and that's it. And I choose when my time is done, and I'm not letting life decide for me a little bit. But
One step at a
people
time.
don't. I haven't made that decision, but that's what I would like. But
You know what? At the end of the day, like we were saying before, anyone can say whatever they want,
Yeah.
but it's your life.
Yeah.
And it's your experience.
Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong.
no,
There's only what you want.
yeah,
But the interesting thing about what you want is that it changes, it grows.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
I might
that
be
will-
enjoying my life too much, and I won't want to go
Exactly.
early.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's why it's just like we never have to hold ourselves too much to what it is that we like plan for ourselves, because
For
that
sure.
in itself is a plan you set for
For
yourself.
sure,
you
because
know?
look what happened. Like last year I was having such an amazing year, and I was going to Mexico, and I was planning on doing all these trips and having the best summer of my life. And look what happened. It's like, whoop, nope, not yet, girl. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like you make a plan and God laughs. That's how it's said, right?
Right.
Like, so, no, I definitely I'm gonna see. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? You don't have to make any decisions.
No.
And that's what
That's
it
the
is, especially
beauty.
now. You just go.
Go with
and
the flow.
it's like you said, it's like it's funny because it's like you're like, you know, I want to have the control over it. I
For
want
sure.
to choose it. But at the end of the day, it's like,
Nope.
it's always just going to be what's going to happen. And but at the end of the day, it's always going to be your choice. You know?
Yeah.
It's always going to be
What you make out of
the
it.
sequence of events and how things happen. And it might not be what you think right now in this moment is what you want. It might change in 1 day from now, and
Yep.
3 years from now, and 10 years from now. And that's the beauty, is kind of we don't know. And that the options, like you said, of your bucket list is that there's so many options that you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like you just have to keep riding with that
Yeah.
and not holding yourself to one thing. You don't need to hold yourself to 15 years, but you also don't need to hold yourself to
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just
You can
take
just
it
go.
like you're doing it right now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
one day at a time,
That's
and
it.
then you
Just
decide,
enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to make any decisions.
No.
I know you had mentioned before how you were saying that like you don't believe everything happens for a reason.
I don't.
So you're a bit like me.
Oh, really?
In the sense
I
where-
thought I would think that you no.
No, I always
Good.
say here on the podcast that I believe that like our path has already been chosen for us.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. Do you want to elaborate on like why you think that, or?
Yeah, for sure. I just think, I don't know. I haven't had the easiest life. Like I lost my dad unexpectedly, and he, which was 9 years ago, which feels like it was yesterday, and it was, I don't know. I feel like there's no reason. There's no reason for kids to have, oh, the parents learn to love you. No, I feel like
Yeah.
things just fucking happen, and it's just set in stone. And you know, me having cancer me having cancer is not like a lesson. It doesn't make my mom love me anymore. She fucking loves me. Doesn't make my friends cherish me more. They cherish me already. It it won't, there's no lesson in this. There's no lesson in kids having cancer. There's no lesson to be learned. It's just, even in my death, like when I'm ready to go, oh, I'll live my life. No, you know, when my dad passed away, I thought, okay, like my dad really was like a worker, never took vacations, never lived his life, and he was gone in an instant. And I told myself 9 years ago that, oh, I'm going to live my life. Like, this is it. And look what happened. My whole 20s were like, no, I didn't. Like, because I realized, well, life still goes on. And I don't know. Things are just set for you. And
sometimes there's just no reason.
There is no reason.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And even like when my dad went, I was always looking for signs. I was looking for anything to feel his presence. And it's like, he was just gone. And I don't know, like, you know, I'm not a religious person. So I don't know. It was very difficult. It's just like, they're just gone. Yeah. And I will be too. And that will be okay. Everything will be fine.
Yeah.
And it's just,
I think it's human nature to like give answers to questions.
We try to rationalize everything.
Yeah.
We have to have an answer. We have to, it's because of this, or it's because we have to, because we can't cope with the fact that things just fucking happen.
Sometimes it's even just like a coping mechanism for us to be like, okay, like we need to make understanding so that we can like move on from something. But
it's the same thing, like I was saying when we had this conversation, I was talking about how religion sometimes is that like answer to a question that we have no answer to, and sometimes it's just like something to hold on to, you know.
And you know what, power to them if that's what gets you through your tough times, because that is the answer you're looking for, and there's a story, and it power to you, because if that's what's getting you through and helps your mental health and helps your whatever, go for it, because we always need an answer, right? Like, why, like, you know, my mom asked me, like, why you? Why us? All the time. Always something. And it's like, that's just how it is. There's no, like, you know.
There's no reason.
There's no reason. It's and it's okay. It's fine. You know, I wouldn't fucking wish this on anybody. You know? I don't know.
I think it's a really interesting perspective, and it's really fair the way you think as well.
For sure.
It's so valid. And I think it's you know what, I think there's truth in everything. I think in what everyone believes there's always a sense of truth, and it's like there's some things that we can sit and be like, I understand the reason this happened, I understand what this had to teach me, but then I also understand the perspective of like, I didn't need this to happen, I would have been the same person, you know what I mean? I think that everyone is always
all
right,
depending your experience.
it's all your point of view, it's all the way you take things. And I don't think that there's wrong in anything. I think that it's just whatever works for you works for you.
For sure.
And sometimes swallowing the pill of like, things sometimes just happen. There doesn't need to be a reason for it. I think that's almost like that blunt truth of like, we're just going to swallow the pill.
I have to. Because if I choose to wallow in self-pity and like, why me? Like.
What's that?
Well, like. I would like what I would lose, like I'd lose 6 months of my life feeling so shitty about myself. Lose this summer. You know what? I went to college. I had a good time with friends last week. I'm going to see friends every day that I can. And no, definitely, like I can't go into that pit, because I will never get out. Because then I'll be thinking, oh my God, like I have to do this again in 5 years, and I'll be just constantly like racking my brain, like 4, 3, 2, like. Absolutely. I can't jump into that, because you'll never see me again. Like, I won't do it.
I think the biggest thing, like, I like out of this podcast is just your mindset. Yeah. I think it's not easy. Like, it's like, I think that I want to say how like amazing it is, and I know that it's difficult to even have that mindset. And I think that sometimes people believe that you're just born with a mindset, that they just like believe like, oh, you're just good, you're just resilient, you're just a tough person, you're just a tough cookie. And it's but
things happen.
Not only do things happen, but it's like it takes work, it takes time to get to that mindset. So I just want to like give you props for having the mindset that you have, because I do think that that's what makes life worth living. And it's like, not one day, you know what they say, like everyone gets the same 24 hours, but it's all the way that you spend it.
Right.
And it's like, if you spend 24 hours sitting and crying about your life, and someone else spends the same 24 hours living it every single second to the fullest, those are two drastically different 24 hours.
For sure.
So it's like, it's all what you do with it,
Yeah.
you know, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And I think anything that happens, it's all what you just do with it. And I think what you're doing with it is great. And I think you're doing the best that you can do with it. And you're just going to keep doing better and better.
Yeah.
And I think that energy is going to bring everything that you want.
I
you know,
think
like
so.
you said, like
Yeah.
it's the fun energy that's bringing the fun dates and
Yeah.
all that stuff. I think that's, I'm happy for you that you have that, you know, because not everyone does have that. And so I'm just appreciating the fact that you could do that.
It's so amazing to have you on the podcast, honestly.
You guys are so sweet. Thank you for having me.
Any last words? Any last things you want to say to everyone listening?
No, just there's nothing. I can say go enjoy your life. You know, every minute is a blessing, but life just goes on, and you're gonna do what you're gonna do at the end of the day. And I can't say anything. I just really hope if you think something's happening, like with your body, go to your doctor. Like, you're never too young. You're never too old. If you even have, like, one bit of intuition of something going on, go. Like, don't wait. Don't go.
Do you think it would have been different if you would have went earlier to the
No,
doctor?
it wouldn't have been, in my case.
That's good to know, though.
It's a relief in that
That's
sense.
a relief.
Yeah.
I feel like
For sure.
living with that would have been harder.
But that's my case. Don't let it be
Right,
like
right,
your
right.
case.
Yeah.
Because, no, it wouldn't have changed anything. So that was definitely a relief. But,
living more blissful and like not knowing for longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, just go. Just like, I don't know.
Live your life.
Live your life and listen to your body, listen to your needs, and listen to yourself, because you're your own cheerleader, your own person in your corner. No one's in your corner for you but yourself. So off you go.
Off you go.
Off you go. Yeah.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on, and I think that everyone has something to learn from this. I think just sitting here, being here, is just a nice experience and just something that I feel like is on your path of what you want to do, and I'm so grateful to be a part of that.
Same.
And
you.
I think that if anyone's listening and has an answer for what to say when he tries to pull her hair,
Yes.
comments are open.
Please. I need to learn how to like lay my edges. So.
We need to get some edges laid.
You know what? Last thing I want to say is Rachel, when we were in Toronto together, because we did Halloween together, I had like put on like this blonde wig, and I was like, I need to be Pamela
Yes,
Anderson.
that's right.
And she was like, give me the scissors. I'm gonna make this wig work. And I was like, Rachel, what are you doing? I'm like, this is my outfit tonight. If you fuck up the wig, like
It's over.
it's over.
Yeah.
I got one blonde wig, and it's this one.
Yeah.
And she starts, and she's in the bathroom. She's like, I don't want you to nitpick and like look in the mirror while I'm doing it.
Oh.
So she's like, turn around, and it's such a Rachel thing
Yeah,
to do.
yeah.
Like, turn around, and then she's like starting to layer my hair, and I'm like, honestly, Rachel, you could have been a hairdresser. So
Whoa.
we know Rachel can definitely
runs
work
in the family.
Yeah, literally. Well, thank you so much for coming on,
Thank
Becca.
you for having me, guys.
Like,
I
it's been an
appreciate it.
honor. I have to say, it's like one of the most like impactful episodes. I hope somebody learned something from this, because
Thank you.
I know I did.
Oh, sweet. You guys are too cute. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So, guys, with that, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you, guys.
Amazing.
I'm so hot.